to today's episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name is Sean Wasserkrug, and I'm here to review all the latest films in theaters, as well as anything that you guys recommend, whether it be recent films or old school movies. Before we get to today's episode, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel, so that way you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on YouTube. Now, today's review is going to be about the movie Brightburn. Now, for me personally, I've been super excited for this movie ever since I heard about it and then saw the first teaser trailer. This movie is directed by David Yarovesky. I think I'm saying that right, Yarovesky. But that's not the thing. The thing that made people really want to get into this is that it's written by the Gunn brothers, Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn, and it's produced by, of course, James Gunn, who everyone knows from Guardians of the Galaxy and the future Suicide Squad, as well as Guardians 3. What really caught my eye was not necessarily that the Gunns were writing this, but what the actual story was. And basically what the movie Brightburn is about. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this in to my plot. The story of Brightburn is literally the story of Superman. But what happens if Superman went bad instead of good? Now, clearly, this movie couldn't basically be... they couldn't come out and say Superman. They couldn't say it was Clark Kent. They couldn't say it was the Kents. They couldn't say it was Smallville, because obviously of copyright from DC and stuff like that. So the Gunns decided to basically take the same story, literally the same story, and just put it in a different, change the names, put a different lipstick on the cow, and basically flip a superhero story into a horror film. And that is basically what Brightburn is. So for people who don't know the story of Superman, which many people should know that story, but just in case they didn't, the general plot of Brightburn is in Brightburn, Kansas. So if anyone wants to know what Brightburn stands for, it's for Kansas. It's a town in Kansas. You have this young married couple, Tori Breyer and Kyle Breyer, played by Elizabeth Banks and David Denman. They're wanting to have a baby and stuff like that, but then one night a spaceship crashes into the woods behind their farm, and they find a baby. And instead of turning the baby over to the authorities or anything like that, they decide to hide the spaceship and raise the child as their own. We jump ahead 12 years, and it's the child's 12th birthday, and his name is Brandon. They're calling him Brandon. He has his 12th birthday, but then things start to happen. He starts to realize that he's got powers, and he kind of has to go down this path of whether to be good or whether to use his powers for evil. And obviously, if that picture behind me or any of the photos that I'm showing you during this review doesn't tell you what way this story leans, I don't really know what else to tell you. Plus, I said that this is a horror film about what happens if Superman goes bad. So basically, he goes bad. And that's basically what the plot of the movie is of this superpower kid who realizes he has these powers, and instead of the normal route, he basically goes full-on supervillain. And that's the plot of this movie. What works with this film? Pretty much everything. Not gonna lie, I loved this movie. I thought it was incredibly well done by David, I already forgot his last name, David Yarovesky. I thought he did a great job directing, and I think the story done by the Gunns is very tight. It is a very lean movie. There is really no room for any fat in the story. The performances are incredibly well done in this film. Elizabeth Banks does a fantastic job as Tori Breyer, definitely giving that great mother role, and then really turning in. Elizabeth Banks doesn't really do a whole lot of drama. She's mostly the comedic type of actress. In this movie, she goes full-on drama with it, of a mother who's scared for her son, who's trying to protect her son, and then goes to straight-up fear of her son. And I think Elizabeth Banks does a fantastic job of that performance. Same thing goes for David Denman, who people might know as Roy from The Office, and other movies. He was the deaf tight end from The Replacements. I love this actor. I feel like he doesn't get used enough in movies. I feel like he really should be given more than what he actually gets in his career. But David does a great job as playing the father Kyle. He is that kind of linchpin whereas with Superman had his father, who was kind of like keeping him contained with his powers, teaching him that just because he has powers, he needs to be able to treat them for good and to not use them against people or anything like that. Kyle doesn't really do that. Kyle's just straight up terrified of Brandon. And there's that good father-son dynamic between them, but as soon as Brandon starts showing any kind of abilities, instead of Kyle trying to not contain but nurture Brandon's powers, Kyle just goes straight into fear and terrified, and he does the exact opposite of what a father should do, instead of the way the Kents did with Clark or Kal-El. But David Denman, I keep saying his name wrong, Denman. I think he does a great performance of playing that kind of character in this film. And then a big shout out to Jackson A. Dunn, who plays Brandon Breyer. This is literally his first role in a movie. I mean, yes, he did have a role in Avengers Endgame. For anyone who noticed him, he's the one for people who have seen Avengers Endgame, when Ant-Man does the first time travel test and he comes back as a teenager. That's Jackson A. Dunn. Literally, that's pretty much the only thing he has done outside of little things here or there in TV shows. So, excuse me. So this is Jackson A. Dunn's first theatrical film, for the most part, as a lead. And I think Jackson does a great job of portraying Brandon as this kid who's incredibly smart, but obviously he's nerdy. He's misunderstood by everyone outside of his parents. And he's kind of kept at an arm's length from everybody. Like, when he develops a crush on a girl, he doesn't quite know how to react. I mean, because he's 12 years old. But when he finally learns his powers and he finally learns what he's capable of, he just, like a true adolescent teenager, decides, I'm going to make sure no one messes with me, and I'm going to make sure if anyone does mess with me, that they're going to pay. And seeing Jackson's turn from this sweet, nurturing, loving kid to this overpowered, just villainous monster that he turns into in this film, it's quite the turn, and Jackson A. Dunn does a great job of portraying that. The rest of the supporting cast, they don't get as big of parts in the movie. It's really, really held together by these three performances. But you got looking for here. You got Matt Jones. Most people might know him from Breaking Bad, as well as a lot of other little cameo roles in TV shows. He plays Noah McNoll, McNoll. I'm saying that wrong. He plays the husband to Tori's sister, Marlene, played by Meredith Hagner. She has one of those faces like you've seen her from somewhere, but you don't know where. She's played at a few TV shows and stuff around there. But yeah, they're basically the surrounding family behind Brendan, and you can see that the nurturing's there. But just like with Kyle, as soon as something goes off, they are willing to turn on Brandon at the drop of the hat. Also, you got Gregory Allen Williams. He plays Sheriff Deaver. He's got a few good lines, and I think he does a really good job, but he doesn't have enough to really do in the film to really matter. But yeah, like I said, casting alone does great. The visual and special effects that they use for Brandon are also incredibly well done. The horror aspect of this film is also incredibly well done. They do a great job of, like with superhero movies, you have your villains and you have your superheroes. The villains never come off scary. They're just, okay, they're a bad guy, and they're going to do bad guy things. The guns and, I keep forgetting this director's name, David Yarovesky, do a great job of turning a superhero comic book kind of movie to a straight-up horror. When Brandon goes dark side, it is a very scary an unnerving and creepy turn. And they changed the tone of the movie right away, and it keeps you on your toes, keeps you on the edge of your seat. There are moments that are going to have some jump scares, but the power that he possesses in this film, like I said, he's Superman. He's Superman without calling him Superman. But using him in a vicious, violent, and destructive way, which is a way that we don't see Superman do, is a terrifying thought. And they build this up beautifully throughout the entire film, and it really raises the stakes throughout the entire film which makes it a great film overall to experience and to watch. Yes, is it gory? Absolutely. So people who are squeamish about gory things, probably not going to enjoy this as much. But for the people who like that kind of thing, when Brightburn turns up the gore, they fucking turn it up. Sorry for the cussing. But yeah, and I love the way it ended too. I think, without going into spoilers, I'm not going to say much further than that. I like the way how the film ended. And I can't really say much more without spoiling something, so I'm just going to stop it right there. But yeah, a lot to like about this movie overall. What doesn't work? There's not really a whole lot that doesn't work. The only thing that I wish Brightburn would have done. The movie is 90 minutes with credits. So take the credits out of the equation. The movie's probably around an hour 20, hour 22. It could have given us about 20 more minutes of actual story. Like I said, the story's very lean, and it is at a breakneck speed. It just goes. Could it use 20 more minutes for expansion of the story, expansion of the characters, expansion of the ideology of the powers, and Brandon going through the learning steps of these powers? Absolutely. And if that's my only nitpick when it comes to this movie, that's telling you a lot. Whereas my nitpick is I wanted more. I wanted more of the story. I wanted to know more about the story. And knowing that that's really the only thing I had a problem with should tell you how good this movie is and how I felt like it played out for a lot of people, because I just wanted to know more about these characters. I wanted to know more about Brandon's powers and where he came from and the ship and all this stuff. I just wanted more. And I feel like 20, 25 more minutes of story would have been fantastic, but I get why they didn't do it. They kind of wanted to get in and out with the story that they had. They wanted to hook you in with a scary superhero type story, and they do that in a fantastic fashion. And yeah, the only thing I wish was that I could have gotten more, because I wanted more. Give me more. And that's the only negative I have about Brightburn. So overall, like I said, I think Brightburn is a great film that I feel like not enough people are going to see, because you have movies like Detective Pikachu, Avengers Endgame, Aladdin. Next week we got Godzilla, X-Men after that. There's just so many other films out right now that I feel like the indie superhero horror film is really going to go under the radar for a lot of people. And it's going to be one of those movies that at year's end people are going to talk about, and either people are going to know what it is and love it, or know what it is but never checked it out. Kind of like last year's Upgrade, where it was a fantastic film that not a lot of people got to see because it just kind of came and went. I feel like Brightburn's got a little bit more recognition on it than Upgrade does because of the guns being a part of it. But this is definitely a movie, I think, if you like this kind of genre, horror with superhero elements, or if you like superhero comic book kind of movies, and you just kind of want to see them do it a different way, then I strongly recommend this movie. If you're not a fan of any of those things, then no, Brightburn's not going to work for you, because it's definitely not made for you. But if superheroes, comic books, horror, any of that stuff is for you, go out of your way to check out Brightburn. I think you guys are going to have a fun time watching it, as fun as you can have watching a horror film. And it's one of my favorites of the year so far, for as tight-knit as it is. So going into my top 10 of 2019 so far, Brightburn is coming in at the number 4 spot, with Avengers Endgame staying at number 1, followed by John Wick 3, Chapter 3 Parabellum, then followed by Us. Then we got Brightburn at the number 4 spot, followed by Long Shot, then Shazam, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Fighting with My Family, How to Train Your Dragon 3 The Hidden World, and number 10, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, with Happy Death Day 2 dropping out of the top 10, which is a bummer because I really enjoyed that movie. But we're starting to get some really good movies out there. So Brightburn comes in at number 4, and like I said, really enjoyed the movie. I think you guys are going to enjoy it too if you like these kinds of films. If you're not a fan of horror or anything like that, probably don't go see it, because I don't think it's going to change your opinion on it. But yeah, definitely something to go out of your way to see if you like these kinds of films. I hope you guys enjoyed the review overall. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you feel like this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to the channel, so that way you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on YouTube. And also don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. And coming up next, literally next, because I'm literally stopping this tape and going right into the next one, we will have the review for the new remake, Disney's Aladdin. So if you guys are watching this video and you guys want to know what I thought about that, just hit that backspace and click on that next video and go right into it. Next week, don't forget, we got Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic, or fantasy biopic, and then, of course, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which I'm super, super excited for. So yeah, if you guys click on Aladdin, great. If not, I will see you guys next week. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.